afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the show, Gloria Presenta. How's everybody doing today? We're in the beautiful city of Oxnard at Sugar Beats Restaurant, which is Casa de la Salsa, where everybody comes and dance merengue and salsa, which now we're having Friday nights, Noches de Banda, and we're having Thursday nights, Noche de Merengue. Welcome, everybody, and today we have Mr. Tafoya, Pat Tafoya. Good afternoon, Mr. Tafoya. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, and it's a pleasure for me having to interview you here on this beautiful day on a Wednesday afternoon. Mr. Tafoya is a resident from Ventura County and also lived in Oxnard. He has quite a history to tell us, right, Mr. Tafoya?
I've got a lot of history, and it's it's an opportune time for me because I've just relocated my business from Ventura to right across the street from Sugar Beats.
Oh, good. And what type of business do you do?
I've been in the real estate business for 38 years, and I've worked, my primary location was here in Oxnard. I had 8 offices at one time.
Wow, that's a lot of offices.
And I was in 4 counties. And this was our main office here in Oxnard. And
what counties did you work?
Well, I was in Santa Barbara County to the north, and Ventura County. Then I was in Northridge in the LA County, and then I went east into the Bakersfield area, into Kern County, where I have family members. And but once again, Oxnard was my primary location.
Primary location. And it was really hot back then, huh? To open 8 offices, real estate offices. Wow.
Well, the business was very active, and well, now, as everybody knows, we've had a meltdown. We've had a
balloon break.
The bubble broke.
Yes.
And when I downsized, I ended up closing all my offices except for the one I had in Ventura. But coming back to Oxnard is a really good feeling for me because I have my roots here, which are my parents and my grandparents. And so it's really a good feeling to be here and to run into people that have known my family.
Right. And, so you're actually the 4th generation then?
Yes, yeah. And
wow.
So anyways, once again, my grandfather started in this area.
Tell us a little bit about that. I know that you were telling me your grandfather was a resident of Oxnard, your parents were, and they have history. Tell us a little bit about that history, and I think it's exciting that your grandfather was one of the first labor contracts here. Tell us, Pat, about your grandfather and your parents and in the community here.
My grandfather, may he rest in peace, he's a dearly beloved man to a lot of people, and his roots, he is American Indian from Arizona.
Oh,
and that's where a lot of people ask me about my name. We are American Indian from
Tafoya,
from Clifton, Arizona.
Clifton, Arizona. When I saw that Pat Tafoya, I thought maybe it was Asian but it's Indian.
But he came from Arizona and landed in Moore Park.
Oh,
And he started in his farming and different businesses. And then he became friends with the owners of Bank of Believe, who were the Milligan family.
Bank of Believe, wow.
We're going back. We're going back to the beginning.
I remember that, yeah.
Of the banking in Oxnard.
Right.
And so him being very friendly with the Milligan family, he was hired as a labor contractor. In those days, there was not a lot of row crop. There was a lot of existing apricot orchards, for example, Thousand Oaks.
Right.
All those rolling hills, those were all apricots. And then...
that way it's called Thousand Oaks.
Thousand Oaks, yeah. And then there were a lot of walnut orchards. And there were citrus and originally lima beans. And so in those days, him being the labor contractor for Bank of Believe, I've heard so many nice stories where a lot of the old Mexican families know of him because in those days there weren't a lot of work, and he would hire different families and give everybody an opportunity to work.
Right.
Instead of like one group taking all the work, he spread it around.
He spread it around, right?
And gave everybody a chance, especially in those times when there was no work. It was all there was farming.
Right,
farm labor.
Right.
And so, thus, my father and his only brother, Ray Tafoya, and my father, Fred Tafoya, they became farmers in this area, and that led them into labor contracting, and they were instrumental. I remember as a young person, I remember when the period where the Bracero program ended, and that was when they were bringing laborers in, contracting labor from Mexico.
I remember that, right.
And so when that ended, they were instrumental in helping immigrate a lot of people. And I still run into a lot of families that always remind me of those nice stories that my father and my uncle immigrated the fathers, and then they in turn immigrated the wives and the children.
Right, with the Bracero program was with the letters, right?
With letters,
it was with their program called La Amnistía, no?
It was, well, in those days, with the letter of reference from an employer.
Yeah, right.
You could pretty much
What year are we talking about?
We're looking at probably in the 50s, mid 50s.
Oh,
I believe.
mid 50s, okay.
Maybe late 50s.
Late 50s,
And so from there, I've come in contact with a lot of people that worked with my parents or my family in the farming and the farm labor. And then about 38 years ago, I got into the real estate business.
Oh, you did.
And I experienced the good times as well as the bad times. But this last time was a pretty intense collapse of the real estate market.
Right.
And so I relocated and I downsized and I moved to Ventura. But just recently, my boss, the Carlos Mares family, hired me as a project manager for the bank building Banco de Ventura that they just purchased, which is right across the street from Sugar Beets.
Congratulations.
And it's so nice to come over to entertain or to come and bring guests over here. And this restaurant facility is a first-class facility.
It is, and it's a really good restaurant. The food is excellent here.
So many people.
So I know where you're going to be having lunch, right? Right across the street.
Oh, I wish that more people would know, especially people from Ventura, that this is a nice, excellent location to come.
Right.
But anyways, I'm so pleased to come back to the area where my family started.
Right.
And I'm really enjoying so far where we're at. But we're going to embark back into the real estate field, but as well as
you're a project coordinator. You said project manager
I'm a project manager for
the bank
for a 20,000 square foot building.
Oh, good.
And what we've done is we have been able to recruit some associates and some partners, and we are now instrumental in trying to bring some educational programs down into the city, down into the inner city here, and a lot of the people that we're teaming up with have a lot of expertise and knowledge of financial resources that are trying to bring about a change into the downtown Oxnard area for educational purposes, especially for people that were victimized with this economic downturn.
Right.
A lot of young people now are getting educated, but there's no work.
Right.
And so right now we have a plan underway to create a trade school, and we're getting a lot of favorable responses, and we're very pleased because it's a very worthwhile program.
The trade school, is it something like CET, the SET program?
It's going to be programs that are now the government is now reaching out to inner cities, trying to train young people for the change in the world events or change in the economic structure and how you need to be educated to survive in this time.
Right.
But we're now also looking at trying to provide a facility where there's one group that represents mothers like single mothers lacking the skills to perform in the workplace, and others are, for example, battered children or battered wives, which is so worthwhile, and it's such a good feeling to contribute to that.
Right. So the program, the trade school that you're trying to organize, or the city's trying to organize, let me see if I understand right. It's for battered women, domestic violence women, and for children, or more for the women who are trying to get a better education. But it's not just specifically for these women that are battered, that have a domestic violence, or is it for women and men in this trade school, or is it more towards women?
Well, one of the things that we're leaning on the trade school is, for example, one of our associates is a leader in the computer, advanced computer, internet skills, advertisement, all kinds of the new innovations, which myself personally I've lacked that knowledge of computer skills, but the people that are coming together with us are very well trained in computer internet
skills.
Internet innovations.
Right.
And so this is what
mechanically inclined.
Yes, and this is what we're trying to.
Inclined, right.
These are the people that we're surrounding ourselves with, and we're getting a lot of good feedback and a lot of support.
Right.
And because of the changing times, I guess the old traditional workshops of trying to train people to be like chefs or cooks or truck drivers, there's now a need for learning computer skills.
Well, everything is with computers now, Pat.
Yes.
I mean, everything. I mean, even the kids. I know that one of the school kids here, I believe Curran, has a laptop. Not a laptop, but what is it? iPad for the kids.
Yes.
For the kids, iPad. I mean, they all went home with iPads, and the way these kids use it, I think that's wonderful. I mean, I think that's great. Not all the schools here in Oxnard have them. Right. I know Curran is one of the schools that have them. I know Marina doesn't have it. But I think that's great that the kids, you should see these kids.
Yeah.
I mean, my nieces and nephews, I mean, you should see, I get on my phone, hi Tia, how are you? And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're, it's like through internet. I think that's wonderful. Now, when do you see, Pat, that this school is going to start? I mean, what is it? When is it, or the date? Well, actually, Pat, why don't you keep that thought? We're going to go to commercial and come back. Friends, we'll be right back. We're going to go to commercial, and then Pat will explain to us when the trade school is about, and more about the organizations that they have coming up in Oxnard, Pat. So we'll be right back. Right. We'll see you in a little bit. Welcome back to the show, Gloria Presenta. We have Pat Tafoya. He's talking to us about the programs that we're going to have here in Oxnard, right, Pat?
Yes.
Really good programs besides the SET program, the CET program that you guys should take advantage of. We're also going to have other programs that are coming soon to Oxnard and hopefully up and running. Pat, you want to talk to us a little bit more about those programs?
Yes. One of the areas too that we have found through speaking with a lot of people, that there's a lot of people that kind of fell through the cracks. People that, for example, my generation, that didn't get that opportunity to learn the computer skills, and there's a lot of local merchants that are very talented in what they do, but they lack that ability to spread their name via internet. And so our office is going to provide classes for training and for people like that that have not had the advantage of learning, the computer skills.
Right.
And yes, I'm going to continue in the real estate work. I still have a group of people that work with me in the real estate business, and we do real estate sales and real estate mortgages. And I'm fortunate that a lot of the people that were with me in the past that are still in the business, they are at the cutting edge of the new financing requirements, the new real estate requirements, and they are also going to be training young people how to learn how to buy their first home and how to finance their first home. So we will provide services for the community in that area.
So you will provide services for that, like you said, how to, for the young couples, how to buy new homes, how to get their first mortgage loans, and that is another service besides this other service that you're going to have, right?
Yes.
Now, when do you see that in the future? About what is it tentative? The summer, the fall, or Pat?
Well, I see it coming real soon. Right now, what we're experiencing here in the downtown area, since there's a lot of issues that affect the zoning and affect the parking requirements.
Right.
And so we're trying to get through that maze because we are going to be bringing people into a 20,000 square foot building. And yes, there are going to be more people, but we are trying to work within the system to accommodate zoning and parking requirements.
Right. I think that's probably one of the problems here on C Street, huh? Is the parking pad. Right?
Yes,
yeah.
And so, but we feel very confident that we will conform to that particular area, and we feel that we're going to get some support from our local politicians.
Right, and especially if it's education programs, for the community. And like you said, right now everybody should take advantage of these programs, of these trade schools, because like you said, in the past, you didn't have that, right?
That's true.
And now that it is there, these programs to offer for these kids, or whoever wants to, because I'm sure it's for everybody, right, Pat?
Yes.
Take advantage of all these wonderful programs that the community has. Now, are these programs going to be in the building that you manage, Pat?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And right now, we have a lot of plans scheduled, but we have a lot of space. So we feel confident that we can accommodate all these different areas, different issues, that
now,
training issues.
Are these offices where you're going to be offering other vendors to rent from these offices, Pat?
Well, currently we're trying to stay in conformance with the zoning, which our zoning is like professional offices.
Okay.
And,
the reason why I'm asking, because you can tell our reviewers that there is space for there's office space in case they want to rent them for, I don't know, education or any type of their. So you can tell the viewers, I don't know if you want to give them your phone number in case they need a space to rent out.
Oh yes.
Pat, you can give the viewers your phone number.
All right. Well, that's a good idea because we are looking for occupants. We are looking for people that can be compatible with our existing plan. And yes, if I could hear from some people, my phone number is 805-797-4946. 805-797-4946. And our office location is at 141 West 5th Street. And right here in the heart of the downtown, next to the wonderful Sugar Beets, where you can come over here and visit and patronize. And we're very pleased that we have this opportunity, and we hope to be better known here.
With these spaces, what are we talking about? The office space? Is it, if office space is like maybe 30, 40? I mean, the building is.
We have a huge office location. We will make different size offices to accommodate.
So different prices.
Yeah. And we also are going to provide. We do have a phone system and an internet system, where we will provide an answering service for small businesses.
Oh, wonderful.
So people that are starting out in business that can't afford to hire a secretary or a receptionist, this service is going to be one.
So is this service going to be including the office space, the fee, or is going to be?
It'll all be encompassed in.
Inclusive.
Yes.
And so when they rent out their space, inclusive, that price is going to include the secretary when they're not there. I think that's wonderful.
And
I think that's wonderful, and that cuts out them paying a secretary.
Yes, and we have all the equipment that comes with an office.
Oh,
which,
wow.
we have.
Well, guess where Omec's going to move into now? That's wonderful, Pat.
Yeah.
I mean, just by listening to that's wonderful because that is I don't think we have here in Oxnard I'm thinking a building where with the price is going to include a secretary.
Right,
That's wonderful. Maybe I'll get myself in office there.
Well, you know, we're looking forward to coming down and working with all the other merchants instead of you know, working apart. We feel
working
that
together.
we can work together,
exactly.
and help everybody.
Exactly. Well, united we stand. I mean, that's the whole motto. That's the whole, you know. And if we work together and help everybody out, I mean, it's I mean, I like the idea with, you know, you get with the price a secretary. You know, that's wonderful, and we can make a difference, Pat. I think we really can. And plus with the, you know, with the trade school that you guys are going to put in there, all these other opportunities for the community. I think that's just wonderful. We're look forward to having you people and have also, I mean, for sugar beets. I mean, for sugar beets, it's going to be for right across the street, and the vendors are there, the offices are there. I mean, what better place to have lunch here at Sugar Beets, right?
And we are considering using Sugar Beets to cater our food program.
There you go.
So
there you go.
We're really excited about this.
You can actually have your Christmas parties here.
We're excited about all the opportunities that are going to come about, and what it is people that see me and remember me. I've been in real estate all my life. And now that I'm changing, it's kind of a sign of the times that our society is changing, and I've been forced to change, and that's one of the hardest things to do nowadays.
But change is good. Change is good.
Well, we look at it that way.
Yeah, change is good, and I'm sure Angel Areola, the owner here in Sugar Beets, and are going to be happy because now that they have that. I don't know if Angel knows about it, but when I see him, I'm going to mention to him and have this offices here, and then. You know, I know Angel, they open here at 4 o'clock. Who knows? They might actually, if they know that the building is full, they might be able to open for lunchtime, because that could be a big, you know, producing for the restaurant, you know, at that time, because I know they open at 4, so they could get open like a little bit earlier, 12 o'clock, because the food is able here. Have you tried? Have you ate here?
I've eaten here many times.
Yes, and then you can have all your after parties here. I mean, Christmas is around the corner. Have them here at Sugar Beets.
I wish that more people would become familiar with Sugar Beets. This is a first-class operation.
Yes, it is.
And I am so impressed in the quality of all the service and the facility. A lot of people in Ventura, where I was, have no clue of this downtown facility, and so I'm just so fortunate to have the opportunity to be here, and I'm very pleased.
Well, we are so glad to have you here on the show, Pat. Thank you so much. It's been an honor for me interviewing you and telling us about all these programs and everything, and about the building that you're at, the building that you're going to manage. To all our viewers, there you go, Pat Tafoya. If you want to give him a call, he gave you your number. He gave you the number already. We can repeat it again. It's 805-797-4946. 4946. If you need a space at a building, call Pat, and he will provide one for you, including a secretary. Right? Including a secretary with the 1-8. So if you don't want a secretary, Pat will get you one, right? 1-800 number. Thank you so much, Pat. We're going to have you back on the show. Once these programs are already set, I will have you back to tell us a little bit more about the programs.
I'd love to come back.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
We will see you in a little bit.